Hey, it's Ariana from Scale and Simplify, and I want to show you the three things that are often overlooked, but if you set them up at the onset of you having started your Kartra account, they're going to make things just more smooth sailing from there on out. So the first thing is up here. If you go to the little bubble, yours will look different. It'll be um, grayed out, or I'm not sure. And so you're going to click there. This is where the different settings are. The first thing we're going to do is go to the profile. Okay, so when you initially come in here, there will be placeholders for this image and this image. And that is the first thing that I recommend that you do is add a headshot here or a logo and then a logo here. These are pulled in by default in different areas of the system, and I'm not going to go into detail on that, but I would recommend that if you have a headshot, start with putting that in here. You can always come back and change it to a logo if you change your mind and notice what is happening with it. And then here, definitely you want your logo. So if you click on this one, you're going to see that it is a square. And so the placeholder I have here is just a logo. I'm going to click confirm, but like I said, you can put an headshot image. Just make sure that when you are doing it, so for example, I use Canva, you would have a square graphic, but a rounded headshot image because typically it displays in a rounded format. And then down here for the business logo, we can see here it says that the recommended dimension is 250 by 50 pixels. And so you can just go ahead, either create that or upload one if you already have it. And this needs to be in a PNG format. So these are two super quick things that are just going to prevent you from hopping back and forth when you notice that it's missing somewhere, that it's pulling it in by default. So we want to make sure that those are just there right off the bat. So that was the first thing. The second thing we want to do is confirm again the contact information that's here on the left-hand side. So this is what we have entered in by default, or not by default, but initially when you were setting up the account, this is going to pull in the address and everything that you had written in when you were setting up the account. But the thing to note is that this is actually going to display at the bottom of every single email that you send out that has to deal with anti-spam laws. And so it has to show an address at the bottom of the email. When you're like writing your email, you won't notice that, but as soon as it is sent out on the user's end, in the bottom, there's a little footer where that address displays. And so sometimes people will put their home address and then realize that it's being unintentionally shared to the email list through those emails. So you just want to make sure that you come in here, and if this is not a public facing address that you want to share, that you revise it so that it is able to be shared publicly. So that is the second thing. And then I'm just going to click save. And it's going to ask you here your security question. This is, if you watched my previous video where I talked about how to set up an account, this is one of the things that I talked through, so you can refer back to that video as well. But this is something that comes up every time that you want to edit this profile page, so just make sure that that question is something that you are going to remember the answer to. All right, so once those two things are ready, we're going to, I'm just going to remove my bubble. We're going to go on the left-hand side here where it says My Integrations, and you want to set up your payment gateway. Again, the reason that we do these things is so that we prevent ourselves from having to hop back and forth between different areas of the system and make things as smooth as possible and as simple as possible for ourselves. So I'm just going to go to My Integrations. And basically this is, you want to make sure your payment gateway is set up so that when you ultimately go to set up a product, you don't then have to pause what you're doing and go back to setting up a payment gateway. By default, it'll be set up in your system from the get-go, and you don't have to worry about that ever again. So there are various things in here. This is just for integrations in general, and I'm not going to go into detail about the other ones, but what you're going to do for a payment gateway. Okay, there is Stripe and there's also PayPal. And so I'm not going to go into detail how to integrate them, but I'll show you where to find the information. I just want to say before I hop into that, you can definitely integrate with both of them and have both as options in your checkout. So I would recommend setting that up, again, just so that it is all ready to go for you when the time comes to use it. So for both of them, you can just click on the three dots here and click on New Integration. And then it's going to start prompting you to do that connection. Up here, you can read the technical documentation. And so that's what I would recommend clicking on. You can also, when you click on this, it appears here as well. So you can kind of have a look through that first, get a sense of, they're very detailed, very clear step-by-step instructions. And so you can get a sense of what is ahead of you in that integration process, and you can have your PayPal account open and ready if you need it. Same with Stripe and all of that. And so then once you go through this process, you will know what's up ahead, what to expect, and what information you're going to need. It's like I said, like, don't be intimidated by it. Sometimes people think, oh, I don't know how to integrate things, but it is pretty straightforward. And like I said, the documentation is all there, all in detail, step-by-step instructions. All right, so that's it for the 3 items. I hope that helps. And one last thing I want to mention quickly is make sure to check out the description of the video below for some extra special goodies that I have for you, freebies that will definitely help you with your online business and keeping things streamlined and simple so that you can scale. That's it for today.
If you enjoyed this tutorial, click like below and subscribe to our channel for more tips on scaling and simplifying your online business. If you know someone else who would benefit from this video or similar ones, share it with them as well. Thanks for watching!